first signed up for couchsurfing, I remember being amazed at how cool people looked online.
This isn't couchsurfing in the traditional sense. This is international or national traveling.
It's not a bunch of dirty hippies who get to try to find a free place to stay. It's about creating this environment, because it's not just about opening up your home. It's about opening up yourself to meeting strangers and having that default trust, which is really hard, especially in today's society.
There is the potential for something to go wrong.
What if they steal your stuff? In my household, that was one of their concerns. You're bringing in somebody that we don't know. What if they take our things? For all the great experiences I've had because of couchsurfing, that's worth 30 laptops. The friends that I've met, those relationships that I've built with those people because of that, they've got my back. They'll gladly help me replace them.
I'm actually legally blind, and that was one thing I was really concerned about traveling by myself. If I try to look straight at you, your face goes blurry. Like, it's my center vision that's really blurry. I have better peripheral vision, but it's still, my eyes will get tired after too much. As far as like navigating, I memorize everything. If I can't always read the street signs, usually I just find something that can help me read it. I think that it helped my navigation skills in general and the way that I get around here. I think if you have a pretty good head on your shoulders, good common sense, it's good maybe to have an emergency number in case.
There are some safeguards that are built in.
You can't really erase a bad review.
The other person can't change what they've said about you, but you can go on and change what you've said about them.
You have lots of profiles to choose from. People send out multiple requests.
How many times have they responded? Or when was the last time they logged in? When you read somebody's profile and you're like, okay, that's the person I know that I would dig.
We North Americans are pretty fear-based. Get over the fear, because there's so much more to have in this world, and you don't even have to leave your house to do it.
The site also says there's no obligation to host. You can only host if you want. You can only surf if you want. You can only meet for coffee if you want. The 20s group is doing this. 30s, it starts to thin. Most people, age is not an issue. They're looking for somebody who will host me, who's safe, reliable, a decent host. They don't care that I'm 53.
The youngest, I had 2 German girls. They were 21. It was like having 2 daughters in the house. Why do these young girls want to stay at my house? You're like their dad to them, and so you're real safe. They'd rather stay with you because I have heard stories about them getting hit on.
They're go-for-it women. They're going to travel wherever. They're not going to let anything stop them. They're not stupid. They're not big, huge risk takers either. You just know this is not a person that you would mess with. They're on top of their game. It doesn't become a question.
The extravaganza of all my time was in Switzerland, where I met my boyfriend. He was a host. We just had a great week. We've been dating long distance ever since.
My husband tends to be a lot more cautious than I. I usually run by him before I accept. I didn't in this one situation. A fellow showed up. He had hair down past his shoulders and a beard. He's a pot-smoking hippie. And I'm like, damn it, I didn't vet this guy very well. I invited him in, and my poor husband, I could see his eyebrows just go whoop. The fellow and I started chatting, and I was like, man, he's interesting. And they started chatting, and I then couldn't get a word in edgewise. It was the funniest thing. They connected on almost every level. It was good for my husband. You know, he's got these preconceived notions of you look like something, you must be something. It really kind of blew all of those out of the water for him.
One of your major expenses is lodging. If you can cut it down like you can with couchsurfing, then you're going to be able to go further and do more. And that's huge.
I had a guy from France staying with me last week. He showed up in a brand new Corvette, and I was like, oh my god. And I tell everybody, and they always ask me why was he couch surfing if he was wealthy enough to afford driving a Corvette. And it's because if he'd stayed at a hotel, he wouldn't have the same experience that he's going to have if he stays with a couch surfer, with a host.
One time in Iquique, Chile, I stayed with this guy, and he had an honorary dinner for me. This is totally rad. Being able to see that place in a way that normally tourists don't see it. I was hooked. So I had to hurry back and start hosting.
It's a pretty neat exchange of learning different ways people cook.
So a German girl and a Russian guy came. They went to the store, they got everything, they came back and they cooked the spaghetti. The Russian guy says, do you have any tomato sauce? Only in a Russian accent. And I went, tomato sauce? Do you mean ketchup? And he went, yes. Heinz 57. It's the best.
I had a young man stay here from Austria. He brought me pumpkin seed oil. He uses it like olive oil. And then he made me a dinner, and I'm watching him make it. And I'm thinking to myself, this isn't going to taste good. We'll sort of suck it up and eat it because he's really doing a nice thing, and he bought all the food, and he made it, and oh man, it was good. And that was the same thing that happened with the spaghetti from Italy. It had eggs and this cheese and olive oil, and it sounds funky, huh? We ate the whole thing that night.
I got one group of 4 once, and they said, we would like to make for you a traditional Lithuanian dessert. It's called tinginis. 2 cans of condensed milk, butter, and a bag of Chips Ahoy cookies. Okay, this thing is like a sugar bomb. You've got the right colors of M&Ms. You should make the Lithuanian flag. So they poked all the M&Ms in 3 stripes. So they saluted the tinginis.
Professors would bring him rum as a thank you gift for hosting them, and pretty cool. We got to taste rum from all these different countries. Kind of a cultural Pan-American experience.
You can have interesting intercultural exchanges. When they come here, and they're coming from Germany and Estonia and Slovenia, they can come here and learn about what Americans are like. I can go over there and learn about their history. I can learn about how they feel about their politics and what they want out of life.
Not just about meeting people from other countries and experiencing the cultures that are foreign to us, it's also about connecting with people that are from our own country and learning about our own culture.
One of the things about hosting, it sort of keeps the traveling world in your face. These guys are all traveling, I should be traveling too. Another thing is, if they've been somewhere you're interested in, you can ask them what their experiences were, so you can form some really long distance friendships.
Don't just have them be an experience, but be their friend.
Just kind of nice to be around people who are interested, they're enthusiastic about life still, they want to go out and see what the world has to offer them, and they're not just kind of doing the 9-to-5 thing.
I think couchsurfing is definitely one of those things where it says, I'm going to put myself out there because that's the place I want to live in.